you born with both, or was it a feeling? Was it psychological?
I was kind of born as a female in the first place, but you know, as time goes on, when I'm like growing up, started seeing some changes in me, whereby it's like I have the male organ in me, inside me. But as time goes on, it's like as in started coming out gradually, you know, started growing up gradually at the end of it. I now find myself to be that too confusing that I don't think I'm a female because I'm seeing a different thing entirely about me. So whereby I'm like confused. And I came out on here like as in I have to channel this thing out to the whole Nigeria to see. Even if I'm kind of being on top of the world then that the whole world want to see me in the World Cup in terms of the football. But I just look at it that money won't be everything to me.
I followed John's story because John used to be a member of the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
I remember.
He used to play football for the women's national team. That's how I got to know about his story. So you were brought up a girl. You felt you mixed up with girls, but inside of you, you were feeling like a man, right?
Actually, inside of me, I'm kind of confused. I don't really know where I stand in the first place. I'm like confused, but what I do, all I understand myself a little bit about is like seeing myself whenever I feel like urinating, I go down like a female. Then the other way around, being of a male organ, it's not like kind of working in anything. But as time goes on, you know, I'm not that too comfortable with myself. I just like as I have to come out on here, like since my family is poor, there's no way how they can help me out while I'm giving birth to in the first place. I find out to like as in see myself in the world of soccer, whereby I could be able to use that channel to help myself out since my family cannot be there for me on that area. So I think to God be the glory, I was opportune to be one of the hottest female footballer in town then. And by His grace, I was opportune to like as in sponsored out to go out for the surgery. Why I have to like change my sex organ to know the one that is more, either the female or the male. But yeah, because in the first place, why I'm here in Nigeria, when we went to the hospital, we were like as in I'm more of a male than the female. So it's like 40-60.
How informed were the neighbors were? Did she undergo like some kind of bully, like, neighborhood, if they discover that you have, you have...
You're different.
You are
Anything
different. You know, how did they take it? Were they supportive? Were they, insultive?
Critical.
Were they critical?
No, what really happened was that people doesn't understand our way because that thing we believe is an idea. Are you getting me? We were thinking that thing as she was growing, we believe that thing will clear off, not knowing that this thing will still remain in her. So until she has been playing a female football, we now heard the news. It was that shock that killed my dad because they were about to go for World Cup that time, USA World Cup or something like that. So when we now have the news that Yabo is not a female, that is a male. So there's something I have.
Okay, so even as a family, what he's saying is even as a family, they didn't know he was different.
Yes,
he was at that point.
We know there is something in her, but we believe it's just common idea.
You didn't know
when
he was...
she was growing up, we believe that something will clear off until...
So it was a shock of finding out that he was different, that, the shock killed
my dad.
The dad.
If there is any assistance the government can give to him, they should try him once more and see if it is still okay.
I stood by her because she was a very good friend, not just a friend on the outside, but in the inside, because she has been a very good friend right from the onset. We started together. She used to come to our house. I go to her place and things like that. So I can't keep away from her when she needed us most. So I was there for her all the time.
How do we educate Nigeria? How do we get the message across that this is natural? This is nobody's fault. Things like this do happen.
The first step is what you are doing here. We are trying to educate the masses on this sort of condition, which is one of the medical conditions which can occur, which is, although very rare, I must say, which is the reason why not much studies have been done in this part of the world. Not much even research has been done. And the reason why is that most of these people don't even come out because of the stigmata and the shame and the harassment that most people who come out to present themselves as having this condition faced. So most people tend to shy away from presenting even to the for medical help, to seek medical help. Now, the word hermaphrodite is, when you use the word hermaphrodite, it means somebody having the features, physical features of both sexes. Okay. Now, it's actually intersex. We prefer to use the word intersex. Because it's actually a broader, term that we used.
Now that James, who used to be a girl, is now a boy, what kind of psychological support does he have to, you know, that change?
Is there support in Nigeria?
Is there support?
To be frank, candidly, we don't really have that kind of support.
Oh, wow.
That's it. That's a problem we have. But such people should be encouraged, should come out and encourage others who have the similar conditions but are hiding, not presenting. So the family support has to come into play. The society has to be supportive. Even the government has to be supportive, especially for those who cannot afford treatment.